Hey you. Yeah, you. The one who's been holding it together, but barely. The one who's trying to be everything for everyone, but is quietly wondering, where do I fit in? Welcome to the LoveThySelfies podcast. This is your 10-minute pocket of truth, softness, and strength. I'm Melissa, a woman who's been through the mess, and the founder of LoveThySelfies. And this podcast, it's for us. Every weekday, I'm showing up to share the real stuff. The doubts, the breakthroughs, the things I wish someone told me sooner. Because loving yourself isn't always bubble baths and affirmations. It's crying in your car and still choosing to show up. It's unlearning the lies and deciding you're worthy anyway. It's being human and being holy in the same breath. So if you're ready to stop performing, to stop shrinking, and to finally feel seen, this podcast is your daily permission slip to slow down, to rise up, and to come home to yourself. Welcome to episode 6 of the LoveThySelfies podcast, your 10-minute pocket of peace, power, and truth to carry with you today. I'm so glad you're here. I'm your host, Melissa, a woman who's lived through some pretty messy moments, wanting to share what I've learned and how I've grown with you. Being the strong one sounds noble until you realize that it's code for no one checks on you. Let's get into it. If you've ever been the one who holds every single thing together, the emotional glue in your family or the go-to friend, the person who always figures it out, you know that being the strong one is less about being okay and more about never letting yourself fall apart. And if I'm being honest, that role became my personality for a long time. I can look back at so many seasons of my life where I was falling apart internally. But you never would have known from the outside because I kept smiling, I kept showing up, I kept making it work, even when I was barely hanging on. Because somewhere along the way, I picked up this belief that being strong means being selfless, that being strong means never making it about you, that being strong means not needing any help. But the truth is that being strong like that isn't sustainable. It's not brave. It's quiet self-abandonment. And I think for so many of us, that identity started very early. Maybe your parents were overwhelmed. Maybe your needs weren't seen. Maybe you were praised for being mature for your age. I know I was. For not crying too much, for being helpful, for being the good one. So you kept it all in. You made things easier for everyone else by making yourself less messy. And eventually, it stopped feeling like a choice. It just became who you were. But here's what I've learned. Strength isn't how much you can carry. It's knowing when to set it all down. And for me, that moment came when I hit a wall emotionally. I was tired all the time. I was resentful all the time, quietly angry. And I didn't feel seen, not even by myself. Because I was showing up for everyone else, except for myself. If that feels familiar, here's how you get started on fixing it. You start small. And when I started, I felt terrified at first. Letting people in was so scary. Saying no to people, asking for help, letting the dishes wait, sitting with my feelings instead of stuffing them away with to-do lists. But each time that I chose the softness, each time I let myself just be real, I felt something return that I didn't even know I was missing. Can you guess what it is or what it was? Me. A few years ago, I was at a women's retreat where they asked us to do this simple visualization. We were told to imagine ourselves holding a giant overflowing backpack. And inside that backpack were all the things that we carried that nobody saw. Responsibilities, worries, expectations, unspoken grief, guilt, old stories, the fear of disappointing people. And one by one, they asked us to pull each item out mentally and name it. I'm carrying the pressure to be the perfect mom. I'm carrying the belief that I don't get to rest until everyone else is okay. I'm carrying the fear that if I stop holding it all, no one else will. And I remember crying, not because it was painful, but because it was the first time that I even realized that I was allowed to put it down. Whew. And that moment stayed with me. And now, whenever I start feeling that familiar tension in my chest, I close my eyes and I picture that backpack again. I remind myself that I don't have to carry it all. Not anymore. And neither do you. There's a quote by Audre Lorde that I think about all the time. She said, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It's self-preservation." Hold on. Hold up. You know me. I gotta stop. I gotta rewind. I gotta read it again. Let me just dry my tears. Hold on. Okay. Audre Lorde said, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It's self-preservation." And for women like us, the strong ones, self-preservation is revolutionary. When I started taking care of me, like really deeply daily taking care of me, it changed everything. And it didn't require some huge life overhaul. It was small, little baby steps. It was choosing myself through the little things. It was journaling. It was lighting incense, lighting a candle, taking a slow morning, taking a bubble bath, letting the tears come, skipping the task list and going for a walk instead, not apologizing for needing space. There's a beautiful book called Burnout by Emily and Amelia Nagoski. It is incredible. It's a book about women and emotional exhaustion. Relevant, I know. There's a quote that I wrote on a sticky note and kept on my mirror for months, and it says, "You are not the problem. The way the world responds to your strength is the problem." And that hit me so hard because I kept wondering why I was so tired all the time, why I felt like I had to prove my strength every single day, day in, day out, relentlessly. And the truth is, I had internalized a system that rewarded me for disappearing. It called me strong, well, for not complaining. That clapped for me only when I didn't need anything. Whew. And now I've decided that I don't want to be strong in silence anymore. I want to be whole. I want to be soft and supported and loud when I'm needed and real. I want to be real all the time. This is what I talk about in my Quantum Leap course too, because quantum leaping isn't about chasing goals in burnout mode. It's about finding your center again, making peace with softness, and realizing that you don't have to prove your strength anymore. You just have to feel safe being seen. That's where real transformation begins. One day, I was trying to make dinner while answering work emails and helping with homework and pretending that I wasn't about to cry. My daughter walked in and said, "Mommy, are you okay?" And instead of saying, "I'm fine," like I always did, I said, "I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now." She hugged me and nodded, and then she just walked away. And that's the moment that I realized, it hit me, that our kids don't need us to be perfect. They need us to be human, and showing them those moments, those human moments of overwhelm is a beautiful thing. And sometimes the strongest thing that we can do for our kids is say, "I need a moment." And that tells them that it's okay for them one day to need a moment. It's normal for them to feel overwhelmed. Those are normal feelings. So let's shift together right now. I want you to reflect. Where are you carrying more than your share? Where could you soften even just a little bit? Here's your journal prompt of the day. If I gave myself permission to not be the strong one today, what would that look like? And your beautiful mantra, I don't have to hold it all. I get to let go. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in. Now, picture yourself gently placing something heavy down. Whatever you've been carrying, you're allowed to put it down now, right now. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to wait for someone to say that you've done enough. You are enough. And even when you're not holding it all together, you are enough. If this episode gave you a little breathing room, please come back tomorrow. We're building a life together that doesn't rely on hustle or perfection. Just truth, softness, and becoming. As always, you can find me on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook and TikTok at LoveThySelfies. And if no one's told you lately, you don't have to do it all alone. I'm here for you. Namaste. I want to thank you so much for coming today. If the episode spoke to your heart, please come back tomorrow. Share it with a friend. We do this every weekday. You can also find me over on Instagram at LoveThySelfies, where we keep the conversations going. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You're doing better than you think.